Hi everybody, Dr. Shadi Ireifej here, surgeon, Studio City, Los Angeles, and this video is going to focus on two related aspects of veterinary medicine. I'll probably title this video something like the reason why large vet corporations fail and why technicians are related to that. And so we, of course, over the past few years, probably almost 2 decades, we've seen veterinary corporations kind of take over the market, and they've had over time a bad reputation. And a lot of that is because, people will say, oh, it's corporate, it's corporate run. And there's a very complex topic. There are many reasons why corporations are good and why they're bad in veterinary medicine. But I'm going to focus on one specific aspect of this, which is the overall culture, and specifically how that culture ties into veterinary technicians. So we'll skip from that for a second and go to veterinary technicians. Veterinary technicians are, of course, the nurse version in veterinary medicine that they are in human medicine. And they are literally the staple of veterinary medicine. Any veterinary hospital, they have veterinary technicians. They are a staple there. They're the foundation. Their importance cannot be overestimated, or rather overstated. And a lot of people think that, these large corporations, circle back to that, the reason why people aren't happy there is because they don't pay their technicians enough. And by not paying technicians enough, they don't feel appreciated, and it's hard to make ends meet. And all of that may be true, and that's a whole different discussion by itself. Really what I want to focus on in this video is what is really the driving force behind veterinary technicians. They make up a huge part of the market. I mean, for every one doctor, you're probably averaging 2 to 4 technicians in a hospital that's run as efficiently as they possibly can run. And so there are way more technicians than there are doctors, veterinarians. And the reason why technicians become technicians is not because of the pay. They are often underpaid, they're overworked, they experience high rates of depression, of drug abuse, of emotional fatigue. It's a very, very tough gig, and there's a ceiling. There's a ceiling as far as how much they can be paid. There's a ceiling to which how high they can climb up a veterinary hospital hierarchy. And so, with all these different factors that seem negative, why would anybody be a technician? And there's one reason. There's only one reason. It's compassion for the animals. They are in it not for the financial gain, not for the quality of life, professionally speaking. They're in it because of compassion. They want to take care of animals. That's the fundamental basis. And of course they need to get paid enough to survive. And of course they need to have a good life work ethic, or life work balance rather. They need that. Anybody needs that. They need good camaraderie, good teamwork. They need a good culture in the veterinary profession. They want to practice at a high level. Ultimately, it's compassion. That's why they're in it. And so what ends up happening is, when you go from the smaller veterinary hospitals that really foster that compassion and make that a priority to support that, and you translate that to the corporate side, you lose that. You lose it. And everybody wants to blame the money or the long hours, the culture, and those are all factors. Those are very important factors, but they miss the boat on it. It's the corporations, any large hospital, but especially corporations, because they are the extreme example, right? They're the complete opposite of a small mom and pop practice. They miss the boat on this. They forget that the reason why technicians are technicians is because they want to take care of animals. And when you start to overwork them and treat the pets in that hospital like an assembly line, when you don't show them appreciation by allowing them to express their feelings and by helping them grow in their skill set, their knowledge base, when you don't show appreciation by giving them fair wages or above average wages, and you don't take care of them with health care and 401ks and time off and vacation, all that stuff, and you have a negative culture, this all plays back to not appreciating the fact that they were in this profession because of compassion. And compassion fatigue, which is a phrase that we use a lot in veterinary medicine, and I imagine probably on the human side as well, is a huge problem, because that's a scenario where you have veterinary technicians who are compassionate, of course, like we've already stated, and they are worked to the point where they run out They run out of compassion. They're done. As human beings, we're not robots. We can only go for so long when when your job is emotionally driven and emotionally taxing. So between them trying to balance the financial situation and the culture of the hospital and the workload there, and not feeling appreciated, they end up becoming having compassion fatigue, and it's a big problem. And I think if you are a veterinary manager or an owner listening to this video, I would say if there was one thing that you probably have to fix in your hospital that will change every aspect of how you practice for the better, it is finding a way to rekindle that compassion with the veterinary technicians, the support staff. And I don't mean to leave the receptionists out of it or assistants out of it. Everybody's in the same boat, but the veterinary technician especially is the one that is the most crucial. They're the one that goes through the training to become licensed. They're the ones that are literally taking care of these animals and running around like crazy in a busy day and dealing with all sorts of medical emergencies and the emotional dedication that is required to give their utmost to these pets. They're the staple. And so assistants and receptionists are in the same umbrella, but the technician is your classic example. They're the ones that clearly outrun the doctors and the assistants and the receptionists in numbers, and they are, like I said before, the foundation of any veterinary hospital. So the reason why the corporations end up having a bad rap to them is because I think they lose sight of the veterinary technician. And the second you've lost the loyalty of the veterinary technician, the second they see you as only a money-making machine that treats cases like an assembly line and doesn't show appreciation to the staff, and instead you end up ignoring their cries for help and making them work harder, once you've lost that loyalty, then it's the end game. The reason why the corporations can survive and bigger hospitals can survive despite this oversight, again, in my opinion, is because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. So from a business standpoint, they're going to survive. They'll continue as long as they can find the staffing. And regardless of the high turnover they have, they're going to continue. They're going to move on, and they'll survive, and they'll make more money. They'll get bigger, and they'll buy up more hospitals and what have you. So it's not a matter of them failing from the standpoint of they're all going to go out of business because the technicians aren't being taken care of. It's a matter of, in society, in the veterinary world, their reputation has been critically injured by the way they treat or mistreat their veterinary technicians, their support staff. And I think if they're going to try and change one thing, although there are many things that we can change, they're going to change one thing. It's going to be find ways, figure it out, how to respect, how to show your technicians respect and appreciation. And that's when everything else will turn around. Everything better patient care. The support staff work better together as a team. If they're happy, the doctors are happy because now they're more productive because they're happy. And it feeds into better client communication. The clients then become happy. They have trust in the staff, and it just feeds in. And you're going to make money from that as a veterinary owner or a practice owner. That'll naturally just bring you more money. You may even be working less and pushing your staff less and making more money because overall there's a positive culture that's brewing now, and people are just naturally becoming more productive. And that's not even with raises, bonuses, all the other requirements for a good job, a career. That's even without all that. Just showing appreciation, finding a way to rekindle that loyalty from the veterinary staff, the veterinary technicians, support staff. And I think that's a huge factor. So feel free to mention some comments below. Let me know if you are on sort of the same wavelength with me, or if there's some point that I'm missing. And I hope this video was insightful. And we'll see you in the next videos. Dr. Ireifej, Studio City, Los Angeles, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.